Of course you would go live right
Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Final Flash podcast. As always, my name is Gambit, and I'm joined by...
Hentai guy.
That's right. First and foremost, as always, shout out to Blood by Design for providing the intro and outro music. And they're actually in the chat right now, so that's pretty awesome.
Thank you for joining us on the controversial topics of anime.
Said better include Boku no Pico on that list.
I think it's so well known, I don't see how it's not
Right?
controversial as all.
If you haven't seen it, and I have,
And I have.
you've definitely heard about it for sure.
It's the greatest meme at this point, is it not?
Oh yeah. It really is. It surprised me the first time I watched it. And I think the first time I watched it, man, I was probably 13, 14 years old. So yeah.
So you got hit hard.
Yeah. So I used to play a drinking game involving that show.
So basically what you're saying is you just got drunk.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Hang on. Okay.
I was like, what's going on over here? And I just see this. I know you don't want to be noticeably short on camera, but you are shorter than me.
By a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, for those of you who don't know, I just used my foot by accident to hit the lever on my chair, so I was like slowly sinking down. And that's going in the blooper reel. Oh my god.
Somebody clip that for us.
Don't do it. So anytime you said what the
So yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Nice. Oh man, do you know how messed up we'd be if we were playing that game? I mean, I know you don't drink. You'd probably be messed up off the first couple shots, but
Oh man,
dude, we would be dying.
I could just watch on. I know it's gonna be disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's just gonna be dead on the floor.
Yep. Tipper1313 says, "Yo, I'm bored." Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. Hopefully, we can cure that boredom for you.
Besties.
All right. So, what have you watched this week?
I've just been watching because we're finishing up on this season's anime, so I'm trying to watch as many as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I've been enjoying the Dr. Stone, the latest episode. That nearly shattered me to tears. I was right there. I was like, man, I feel like I'm about to cry. It's it was so heartwarming, and so we get more on Senku's dad, and how much faith he had in Senku coming back to save humanity, and all of it is just encapsulated in this latest episode, and it was just so heartwarming. And even at that, it's that. I think if they've stated it in the show before that it's not his real dad, but it's his dad, and this proves it without a doubt.
Yep. Sorry, I was hearing an echo over there. Yeah.
So I really love that episode, and of course we're hitting the Demon Slayer.
Yep.
Here at the end, and the next episode, which is tomorrow, is supposed to be
70 minutes long, an hour and 10 minutes long.
You are not my dad, Tipper.
Or mine. But yeah, dude, 70 minutes long. I am real excited about that.
I am pumped. I'm always excited when they give, because we're gonna have to wait a bit for the next season.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they really go all out with this last episode. I've been enjoying the Sword Village arc. I know some people hate the CG a little bit on the Wooden Dragon. Mm-hmm. I don't mind it as much because they blended it really well with everything else. It's noticeably CGI, but they blended it a lot better than other animes.
Okay. Yeah, I have not seen it. I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'm going to binge it. And I'm going to try and time it right so that I can binge it. And as I finish episode 10, I can jump directly into episode 11.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be most of my morning.
Season 2 and the movie are so good. Honestly, season 2 of Demon Slayer is I think everybody's favorite so far.
Yeah, definitely. I love the muscle mice.
I do love the muscle mice.
He says the wife and him actually just binged Chainsaw Man. What did you think of it? I loved it. I love the art style. I think it fit with the story and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those also gore fest too that I
Yeah.
enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
They're willing to go all out for it too.
Mhm.
Nah, see, they
Yeah,
loved
they
it.
loved it. Of course you did. I don't know anyone who's hated on it so far.
I can imagine people who don't like gore
Like,
fest
yeah.
type like that, but that's understandable. You know,
Right.
everybody has their niche.
If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But,
Yeah, but
man.
But I don't think anybody argues that it's not a good show. At least
Oh, for definitely. That's
For
a new
definitely.
word. Yeah.
for definitely, we're double downing on that.
That's my new thing, for definitely. But yeah, man, it was an awesome show. The first time you see him just like rip through with the whole chainsaw thing, like you just get pumped.
I still can't wait for the next season. I'm sure we're gonna get it. I just don't know when.
Oh yeah, we're getting it. Like it's extremely popular. Even now, people are just playing the opening just to play it.
I do love it.
Yeah.
Like we were watching Mashal too, because it's about to hit its. I don't know if it's gonna be its season finale, but it's probably gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna get more than 12 episodes right now.
Mm-hmm.
But like we've been saying, that soundtrack for that anime is just so good. So epic for the anime it is.
Hell yeah. Tipper says, what part are you on for Demon Slayer? Or did you finish it? I haven't seen any of season 3. So I'm waiting for tomorrow for that last episode to drop, and I'm just going to binge the entire season. What about you? You're caught up,
I'm
ain't you?
completely caught up, just waiting for tomorrow's episode, and then I'll watch it.
Nice. But so you've basically just been watching the newer stuff, just one episode at a time as it's coming out week per week.
There is one show that I decided to rewatch just because it was on my mind. Do you know anything about A Cell World?
I have heard of it, and I think I even have a manga of it that I just got randomly in a box.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
no,
yes, I know of it.
the same creator who did Sword Art Online coincidentally did A Cell World, and it's a much better show. Basically, our main in this it's a futuristic world compared to SAO. It's in the same time. It's in the same world, but it's much more in the future. And like they can go to virtual reality just using a device in their mind, and like they can create their avatars. And then like our main character gets like this code sent to them to go to a cell world, and the second he does that, he gets transported into this world, and he gets his name in that world is Silver Crow. Basically, it turns into like just a fighting game, and so I highly recommend it to people. It is much better than if you didn't like SAO. I promise you'll actually like SAO World. Its character isn't just like OP for OP's sake or anything like that. He actually is probably the weak. He's starting out weak and growing stronger, which is what I love in characters. I hate characters that are just strong and then don't build on that for certain storylines.
Let's see. Tipper says, can we watch together? Yeah, if you want to jump on the Discord, we can have a watch party and we can watch all of season 3 of Deemer, man. Demon Slayer.
I'm telling you, we're both going to need water because we're going to mess up on our wording
I'm
today.
telling you. Blood by Design mentioned Akiba Maid Wars, which is funny because here it is. I was going to talk about it.
It is on my list, but only because I see the clips on it, and I just want to know what the hell's going on.
It is crazy, dude. It is a wild ride, and I loved every minute of it. The opening especially. I have the opening song on my phone. It's on my playlist as well, so I do listen to that too. This one I watched earlier this week, and I don't know what I was expecting from it, but it wasn't this.
It doesn't look like anything like I would typically see it look. Just based off like the clips on like TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah.
It is insanely just out there. So that's what drew me into it, just of how crazy it looks. And like, I think the one clip I saw was just literally them dancing and then her just getting shot at one point. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Oh man, Blood by Design. They just said, I got through the first episode of it and I was like, yeah, this is made for a very specific type of guy. And I realized how much I loved it and I was like, oh, it's me. Yeah,
that's
same
me.
here, dude.
That's me. I'm that guy.
It was made for me. That's who it was made for. It is great though. Again, there's a pretty decent amount of gore and blood. Not so much gore, but there's definitely like tons of blood.
Violence.
Yep. You're going to see a lot of violence, a lot of gunplay, sword play, but it is amazing either way, dude.
So it's controversial. So what was controversial about this?
This one,
Yeah, specifically.
Actually, I didn't hear no controversy surrounding this one.
Oh, so this was just one of your animes
Yeah.
that you're watching?
Yeah, this is just one that I just watched. But I mean, if I had to say, it'd probably be the use of guns.
Okay.
Gun violence, and especially in Japan. They're real strict. Only policemen have guns.
I mean, even at that,
Policemen and military.
even at that, their guns are very restricted, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
At least based off my knowledge.
No, it definitely is. I know, or at least I read, that they have to count the amount of ammunition they have in their gun and write it down every single day. It has to be on a report.
Yeah, I knew that much at least.
Yeah. So they are very strict on gun control, as we're here in America. We can go buy 1,000 rounds, shoot them all off, and go buy 1,000 more if we want.
It's insane, like how we just don't have limits to how much like I got an uncle who's just got a barnyard just full of just artillery. It's insane. It's like there's no limit on it.
Yeah, for sure, dude. But yeah, I say definitely give it a watch. I know you. I know your taste. I know you're going to enjoy this. It's a great story. The plot line's pretty good. Again, there's lots of blood. There's gunplay. So any of you that are watching right now or in the future, you're watching this episode, just know that there is gun violence. There is blood. So if that's not your thing, I would avoid it because there's lots of it. But if it is your thing, go ahead and give it a watch.
Yeah, we're Gorefest type people, and we love dark and gritty stuff. So I always try to keep other people in mind when I go to like these type of shows, because I know that's not everybody's cup of tea.
Right. The next one I watched this week is also anime you can find on High Dive. It's called Beyond the Boundary, and I don't know if you've seen that one. Have you?
I have not seen this one.
You have not.
I don't even think I've seen any clips of it.
Yeah, it's kind of a hidden gem, but it's fairly good. The art is great. I don't know the production company who made it, but it is pretty good. It's basically it's a love story, but it's not a slice of life. It's more how can I explain it?
Well, I would assume a fantasy type just based off what I'm seeing.
Not really. I mean, there's a school setting. It's sort of fantasy, I guess. You have these people called spirit warriors, which is not every human being, but select human beings are born with the ability to see monsters and destroy them. So almost like Bleach, in a sense. Certain people have the ability to see these monsters and then fight them or whatever. But it's essentially a love story more than it is anything else.
Oh, okay.
But I did enjoy it. So if you like romance stories, I mean, there's a little bit of action in there as well.
It looks like, just based off the art, it looks very fantastical. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's got a lot of great color elements to it.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Miriko-chan.
Yeah.
Which one's is Miriko-chan the ghost one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, right?
That's the one where only she can see the ghost.
Yes.
It's just
Yes. Okay. I love that. I watched that one. That one was a fun watch.
Yeah, me and Kat watched that one together, and I did enjoy that one as well.
It doesn't have, it doesn't have like very cohesive story there, but like certain stuff that you get, like I think the one that gets me is the episode with her dad. That one got me.
Oh yeah. Ghosts and panties.
Yeah.
All right, this next one that I happened to watch this week, I know you've seen it.
We were talking about
talking
this
about it,
earlier
yeah.
a little bit, and this is also just like a little hidden gem that I don't think a lot of people know about, but it's so good.
It really is. So basically, this our main character right here doesn't trust online relationships because he confessed once, and it happened to turn out to be a guy.
Yeah.
An older guy. And so he was pretty heartbroken because in this RPG game that he was playing on his PC, he genuinely fell in love with this character. Yeah, almost I would say it's pretty close to Nagatoro, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean there's some select differences, but yeah, I would say think Nagatoro, and it's almost hitting the mark. And so anyways, he has a very distrust for online relationships. Like he swears them off altogether.
Even at that, he doesn't trust like who he's talking to is like the actual person that he thinks they're talking to. So he's like very cautious when talking to them.
Yeah. But yeah, excuse me, I just freaking burped.
I did too earlier, but I wasn't as loud with it.
This is a rom-com, and it's one of those gaming animes as well. So you'll see them a lot in the game as they talk. And
Yeah, it's funny because like in like the first episode, he marries her avatar just on a whim, not like really caring if it's actually who it is.
yep.
But she considers it actual marriage.
Yeah. Okay. So the main female of this anime, she cannot discern whether it's reality or online in the game.
Yeah, as far as she's concerned, her online life and her real life, there's no difference. You're the person who you are.
Yeah. So since they got married in the game, she thinks they're married in real life as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a hard time telling the difference between real life and gameplay. But it's a good watch. It's
I'm sure people have seen the clip on TikTok. Yeah, like there's this TikTok where he's asking her how she games for so long, and there's just bottles around the room. She's like, you use bottles as he's drinking like lemonade or something.
Yeah, I think it's tea, but
Yeah,
she tells him it's urine,
Yeah.
so he kind of freaks out.
I love it. This one's so fun. I do recommend people watch this one.
Yeah, for sure. So, anything happened to you this week?
I mean, nothing this week, and as everybody who was here in the last stream, I wasn't here last week. Had some family matters to go to, but I did keep up with on stream, and I did see you guys talk about Lookism.
I did.
And then, since I wasn't here, we couldn't have a full conversation about it, but it was very good, though, wasn't it?
It was very good. Let me see. Tipper13 says we keep freezing and lagging.
Is there bit rates?
My bitrate's been steady. It's possible though.
Yeah, we're trying to fix the lag issue, and looks like we're doing all right with it so far.
Yeah.
Because we're getting immediate responses. We may have to adjust with some of the settings. That may be what's causing the slight freezing.
On a very small chance, it could be you yourself. Maybe if you're not like in a great service area or you're not hooked up to any Wi-Fi, it could be you. Because I know that happens to me too when I'm watching other people's streams and it's my fault. Yeah. But I don't doubt it. We could definitely be freezing and lagging.
Oh yeah, and if anybody who's watching, I heard last time when you and Kat were doing it, there was a slight buzzing going on. If you guys hear that buzzing, let us know so we can adjust the mic. I don't know what exactly it was, but we'll work on it. Yeah. We'll fix it on the fly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Go ahead and move that boom arm out of the way.
Let's see. Was it tighten in any way?
No, but it should stay right there anyways.
Right. Is the buzzing currently there? Is that what's going on? Let's see if he says it.
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay. The only thing I could think of is the mic.
Yeah. Let me try adjusting the wire. Could just be the wire. I don't know if it's just picking. Okay, it's gone.
Now it's gone.
It's the wire.
It could have been the wire. Okay. Anyways, sorry. Every episode we have some technical difficulty.
Well, we plan to upgrade here in the future. So.
Oh yeah, we're definitely upgrading.
But we'll slowly work with what we got.
Yep.
Okay, they're all saying it's gone. Good. Sweet.
All right. So, as you were saying.
But Lookism. I sent you the link so you could read the webtoon. Because you were wondering if it was paid. Because not all webtoons on the Webtoon app... Webtoon are paid to read.
Right.
So most of them are actually free to read throughout the entire series. Lookism is one, so I sent you the link if you want to go read that.
Yeah, I have actually started reading it.
But yeah, it's you could tell right away that the art style for the manhwa is very different from the actual characters in the show, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very different.
And do you notice that like a lot of the girl characters are very similar and it's hard to discern them right away?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's why they changed it for the anime. And like he changes it much further into the manhwa, but it does help discern who's who in the characters.
Nice. Now, I know you're saying manhwa, and I know what manhwa is, but explain to them so they don't think you're just saying manga wrong. Coincidentally, this is like a Chinese comic, which is what they refer to as manhwa,
In Japanese manga, you read from right to left. American, we read
left to right.
Left to right. And manhwa, you read up to down. So, like, if you see something like that, it's typically manhwa. Although there is a few American creators who are on webtoons that do comics like that.
Mm-hmm.
But typically it's associated with Chinese manhwa.
Right. Korean as well.
Korean as well, yes.
Yeah. And that was just a little explanation for you guys. You know, I didn't want y'all to think he was saying it wrong or something.
Yeah.
He was like, that's manga, not manhwa. But just, you know, so you have a little bit of knowledge yourselves if you didn't already know.
But you could tell, just based off, because it's only 8 episodes, which I was very mad about when we first got announced this. I was thinking like 12, maybe 24, because there's a lot that happens at the beginning, and I don't know how far you are, but can you already tell that they've excluded things from the anime that were in the
Yes, I have.
Okay. You could see why it throws it off just a tiny bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's still a good watch.
It's still a good watch. I don't have any complaints. They're just trying to get to the main action of the series, is what I'm assuming, which is weird. Which is why I don't understand why they stopped at 8 episodes. Because after the concert arc is when we hit like the big major stuff, where we start asking the questions on why the 2 bodies and who are these people that showed up at the school with the black eyes, and yeah, we start getting to the bigger questions and the bigger fights. So it's a little weird too. And then like we even get we haven't gotten it really, but we even get a fight with the sunglasses guy, who's prominently in the opening, but we don't get him in the anime.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Okay, see, yeah, exactly, which is weird because that's right after the concert arc.
Which I'm assuming they're gonna release a season 2 hopefully soon.
They haven't made an announcement, and it
Yeah.
hasn't been denied a second season as far as I'm aware. But I really do hope it gets one, because, like, again, if you were going to rush through it to get to finish out the concert arc, I'm assuming it's because you wanted to get to the really good bits of what the manhwa was.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping we eventually get there.
Hopefully. Now, you weren't here last week, so we didn't get to talk about it a whole bunch.
We don't know words today.
For real, dude. But how do you feel about this?
I honestly wish they would either complete the series or just remake the whole thing with a newer animation style. But I love it either way because I love Ice Shield 21.
Yeah.
And for anybody who wasn't here in the last show with him and Kat, this is the best sports anime.
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to recommend any sports anime to watch, like, this would be the one. And I think it's the most easiest to get into and very quick on, like, how much you're going to love these characters.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I personally don't like sports, any type of real life sports, unless I'm playing them. I don't like to watch them. It's very boring. However, these sports, anime sports, are just exciting. I think it's because we dive deeper into the characters.
Yeah,
Instead of seeing a bunch of guys on a field you know nothing about.
You're invested. You're
Yeah.
invested into these people and these characters. It's why, like, I loved Yakimitsu's moment when he faces the dragons. You know, when he finally gets to take that first step on the field. I was cheering for him too, you know?
Yep.
This was like everything he's been building up to. Like, his sheer determination is what brought him to that point, even though he wanted to give up so many times.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about, like, sports animes like this. Like, I like Blue Lock, but I still don't think it is as good as Ice Shield 21.
Right. I mean, I would say it's up there, like
It's
close to it.
It's up there. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
As far as sports anime, I think Ice Shield 21 is just going to be like goated. There's not going to be a whole lot that can just surpass it that easily.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big sports guy, and like everything I know about football is probably thanks to this anime. Like, I couldn't tell you how the scoring system worked before, or like the positions or anything until this anime.
Yeah, dude. We live in a college town, so we have tons of football fanatics that live here.
And which amazes me, because I'm telling these people who watch anime and who like sports in general and who really like football. I'm like, hey, you should give this show a shot. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna have its like anime moments. You know, the Devilback Ghost or the Trident Tackle.
Yeah.
It's an anime. You expect it, but like it's still really good. And it's the character like what is his name? Hiruma that you just saw there earlier with the white hair yelling at everybody.
Yeah.
He is the greatest quarterback ever in the show.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
I love his metagaming of all things. Because nobody ever expects him, and I love like their fucking break whenever they come out of their huddle.
Oh yeah,
Tsubasa. I really love iShield 21, and I'll never stop singing its praise. And I will convince more people to watch this anime. I will never stop.
Definitely. I always recommend it to anybody who loves anime and watches sports as well. It's always my number one recommendation.
Yeah, no, like, my goal is to treat this like One Piece and get everybody to watch it.
But yeah, I am excited for that new animation that's coming out. Now, we don't have a release date as of yet. And I know some people have messaged me on Twitter asking if I know of a confirmation for a release date, but there still hasn't been nothing so far as I know. And I check often on all the anime bulletins and everything because I'm a huge nerd and I got a lot of free time.
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be like the One Piece when they, or not One Piece, the Naruto when they announced that they were going to reanimate some of the older episodes. You know, and we didn't get any confirmation when those were coming out. We just got word. Yeah. So it'll probably be a bit, because even now I still don't think we got a confirmation on when the Naruto episodes will air for those reanimated sequences.
Yeah.
People are like, oh no, reanimate the whole first season for the new animation. And to my answer to that is, please don't. I know the Naruto fans love the show, and I get it. But when it's a show's time to go, it's time to go.
It's definitely time to go. If you are going to reanimate it, I would say take out every flashback in that series, because
it's one of my most hated things about Naruto.
Yeah.
I like Naruto. I've watched it. I watched Naruto Shippuden. I watched all the stupid filler that they had in there. I hate it because they've spent too long on too many flashback sequences.
They really do.
Especially for that final arc when I just wanted to see them face God, basically.
Yeah.
Whatever her name is. Like, we spent, I think, half of those episodes on just flashbacks instead of the actual fight.
Dude, seriously, I think like 3 episodes in, we already get our first flashback. Like, of what? We just started watching.
And like, and I knew this is when I knew they were just padding out the show. Is I love the Itachi like filler season crap, but it was padding. Let's just say it like it is. It could have existed on its own, but they purposely put it in there to pad out the anime.
Yep.
I'm gonna call it like it is.
All right, so the topic of this episode was controversial animes that have been at the center of some controversy in real life at some point.
And sometimes it's probably not the whole anime. It could just be a few episodes.
It could be episodes. It could just be characters.
Yeah, characters as well.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of things in the anime world that have blown up. And some with, I guess, alright reasons, and others that are just kind of, I think, are blown out of proportion in a way.
Alright, so I'll kick it off. And I think we're going to start with, where is it? Let me get her up. Death Note. So Death Note, if y'all don't remember, or maybe y'all don't even know, was at the center of a controversy because Light Yagami, our main, I wouldn't even say he's
not the protagonist.
He's not the protagonist. He's
definitely the antagonist.
Yeah. He's the bad guy, but we see everything from his perspective.
Right, and I love shows like that where we look on the other side of things, and it's weird because people cheer for him, you know.
Yeah,
and I was like, you want to see what happens next, and then you realize I'm cheering for the villain. I'm wishing for people to die.
You really do, but your heart does get crushed when L just flatlines.
That was truly the downfall of like the show.
Yeah,
truly.
The show really wasn't the same after he was gone.
Because I really did not like Nier and whatever the other guy's name was. All I remember is Nier.
Yeah. Basically, the reason for the controversy was for toxic behavior. They basically just didn't like the character Light Yagami at all.
Yeah.
They said he was very toxic. People were talking about mental illness and how that played a part in it, and it wasn't represented well. So it blew up, and there was a bunch of Karens out there.
Yeah, no. And that's not even the only controversy this show like had. When we were in high school, Death Notes were an actual thing people carried around because it was so popular. But the horrible thing about it was people were actually writing people's names from their school into the note. And so that was another big problem that this show hit was it just so happened people didn't like someone, and so they just wrote a name in their fake death note.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether it was venting frustration or however you felt about it, it was not the best of things in my opinion. Especially with the way the school systems were going then and even now. So yeah, I get the controversy with that one, but I still love the show and everything it brought out. Light was a perfect antagonist, and L was the perfect protagonist.
Yeah. See, Tipper13 says, I got a toxic life.
Don't worry, we know.
Yeah.
You're here with us.
We're not therapists, okay? But let's see, on to yours. And this one's interesting.
So, I'm H-Guy, so I have to put something that, like... And, yeah, Blood by Design gets it. Yeah.
Yes!
So, like, if people don't know, Interspecies Reviewers was an anime that surprisingly got serialized.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it didn't even follow the manga. They were going all out on, like, the prostituting type thing. It was, like, they didn't hold anything back when doing the animation on this.
Mm-hmm.
And then what got this show, like, off, like, regular channels and strictly to H anime sites was episode 4. And I don't know if you remember episode 4.
I do.
Episode 4. This was the most explicit one. Each episode was getting a little bit more like there, you know.
Yeah, they were pushing it more and more.
And then episode 4 was like, no, we're gonna see if we can go all the way with this, pretty much. And like straight up, episode 4 is they gender swapped the male characters so that they could see what it's like to be a woman in that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And they animated everything and put it out on air. It was straight up just H anime.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised that it got out on the air for episode 4.
Dude, seriously.
I'm surprised that they were like, no, we're not going to air this. Like, not even a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, I could not believe, like, anime's always been pushing that line in terms of, like, these type of shows. But, like, to see, this actually come out with an episode and have it air is just mind-boggling to me.
Right?
Like, I'm hentai guy, and I am amazed by that this got aired.
Yeah, I definitely know. I remember trying to figure out why I couldn't find it on, like, Crunchyroll or anything else. They just completely took it off every streaming
They
site.
snatched it right.
Yeah.
And it's not like it didn't air still, because they just put it on H sites. They still aired it, but in places that you had to go and search for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was very controversial at the time. I remember people were like, hey, why was this airing? They're like, you know, kids could be watching, and I'm 100% with those people. Yeah, like that was definitely not an episode that needed airing.
Yeah.
To the public.
It was basically just animated porn.
Yeah.
But it is a good series, though.
Yeah, I love it. Don't get me wrong.
The book is good as well, the manga.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy the manga.
Yeah, the manga is surprisingly less explicit.
Yeah. Oh, man. But let's see. Pokemon. Now, Pokemon has had tons of
like
controversies over the years.
What do you not talk about with Pokemon?
Yeah. Baby Mike said hi. What's going on, Baby Mike?
Yeah. The infamous epilepsy episode with Porygon. Yeah, I remember that. Well, I didn't watch it personally, but I remember the controversy with it because it never aired here in the States.
It did not. It aired in Japan just once. There were tons of kids convulsing and going into seizures.
Not even kids, adults.
Yeah, adults as well. and they just pulled it. Like after that episode, it never aired again.
Like in like the original studio that animated that episode, like they straight up all just lost the job because they gave it to a different animation studio.
Yep.
Because like that was just so bad. My biggest question is, was this before like we were like, hey, let's review this before we put this out, and then, or what was going on with that they let that episode air before like checking it over?
Yeah, I mean it was what 99, 2000. It was somewhere around there.
Because like even now, Anime Today, I don't know if people notice in Anime Today, like if there's explicitly like bright, vibrant scenes, they actually darken it so you don't have a seizure for anybody who has epilepsy.
Yeah.
So like it's amazing to see that this one got out there, and I wonder if that was the reason why we have anime that do that today.
It could very well be. Flip Flappers. Flip Flappers is a good one. There was even the whole Pokemon is evil, it's Satan, and all this.
Yeah, no.
This whole ordeal that happened over.
I mean, PETA's still on it to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
There's PETA talking about animal cruelty and how they're making these animals fight, even though they're animated creatures that don't exist anywhere in the world.
And like, well, let's not even forget about the episode where James has boobs.
Dude, yes. When they were on the boat, yes,
on the boat.
James had full-on breasts and everything.
Wearing a bikini, the whole 9 yards. That episode, that's another episode that never aired in the States.
Yeah. You can find these clips if you look hard enough, and sometimes not even that hard.
Nope.
Pretty sure even if you just go to YouTube and just look for it, you'll find it.
Yeah, like they're really not that hard to find right now. The Porygon maybe is a little harder than it, but the James with the boobs one, not hard to find.
Yeah. But yes, well, what I wanted to talk about regarding Pokemon, sad Misty, is one controversy in particular, and that was the Jinx controversy.
I have... People are 100% right about this. I ain't even going to argue that one.
Now, this one, for obvious reasons, was corrected very quickly afterwards. So we used to have a blackface Jinx, which I don't think they were intentionally going for blackface. It was just the design.
I don't think they were. I personally can't speak on that.
Yeah,
but
I don't work for Nintendo or Pokemon.
But once like people were like, "Hey, no," they immediately fixed it.
There was an uproar, and we got purple Jinx now.
Like, I even think they even went back and had to reanimate some of the episodes. Did they not?
I think so.
Yeah, because I
think it's pretty hard to find a black Jinx in any of the previous episodes now.
Yeah, they've pretty much almost they acted like it never existed pretty much at this point. But yeah, it's still, even though it's like gone from all like episodes and whatnot, it existed for like a small bit of time.
I'm thinking if you happen to have some VHS tapes, you might still be able to see
one of the original early episodes.
Yeah, you might still be able to see Jinx in her original form.
But yeah, no, this is the one that just like, I just think it just went over people's heads. They didn't even know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
I honestly, in my mind, I don't think it was intentional, but yeah, no, that was not a good look on Pokemon, and one of their worst controversies, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, Japanimation as a whole has had backlash for characters like Mr. Popo, who again looks like a character who's in just blackface.
Yeah,
but I would argue with Mr. Popo in saying that he's not like a being from Earth. He's an alien essentially, or from some other planet. He's alien to Earth, so I don't necessarily see it as racist, but I do see why people think that when they see him.
Yeah, no, I think they've officially changed his color too.
Did they?
I think so.
They might have.
I didn't think they made it as dark, but they did try to retcon it a bit, you know. So yeah, no, it's, again, this is like one of the worst ones I've seen, and it's like, this is why I will never argue for this. This should have. It was definitely an earlier time, but still, even at that, it was not a good call on any part.
Yeah. I know even today, when you see an African American character in an anime, they always have bigger lips drawn on. So I know that upsets some people, and I get why.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Yeah. And, Overlord. Now, tell me about this one because I don't remember hearing controversy over.
Oh,
Overlord.
okay, so you know, I think it was in season 2. Remember when they invaded the dungeon, his dungeon,
Yes.
and like he just straight up just murdered everybody. Everybody was so mad that he was evil.
Okay.
Like the internet was in an uproar because about this.
Like they didn't know he was a necromancer, or
Like they like, how could someone be so evil and just kill all these innocent people? And like these were legitimate arguments that I was hearing, and I was just like, yeah, he's the antagonist, not the I mean, like, yeah, he's the protagonist, but he is the antagonist.
yeah.
He's a dungeon full of demons. That is what he's meant to be.
Yep. Now let's backtrack a little bit. And my friends I hate, which is your nephew, says PETA and God of War. Now, I haven't heard this one. I know it's a game. It's not necessarily anime, but I haven't heard of that kind of
God of War Ragnarok, you face off against the wolf and Hell.
Mm-hmm.
And PETA was mad because you're fighting an undead dog.
Okay.
Which doesn't matter because the dog can't die, first of all. But second of all, it's actively trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Third of all, you eventually give it a soul, so it becomes living, and it's your best friend because it's the soul of your dog that died. So
Yeah.
so PETA was very mad about this, and I thought it was insanely stupid.
Yeah. Blood says that tracks for PETA. Dude, it definitely does. The shit that they get mad over that's not actually like real life animal related is just amazing.
Did you hear about the actor? I can't think of his name. Who was who dated Kim? Who was dating Kim at one point? They just broke up. But
Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson. Did you hear the voicemail he left for PETA?
I did not.
Anybody who's out there who has not heard this voicemail, apparently, he was helping some dogs or helping this dog cat that apparently he's really allergic to, but decided to help it anyways. The stray dog. He decided to help the stray dog or whatnot, take it home and take care of it. And PETA got mad at him because he could have adopted a dog instead of taking one off the street.
Which is essentially the same thing. Like, you're still rescuing a dog. Jesus.
And so he left them the most funniest voicemail. He's like, hey, you need to do your research first. First of all, I'm definitely allergic to these animals. He's like just giving him this whole thing. He goes, next time, do better. And just like cut off the voicemail.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to that later.
Oh, it was hilarious. I loved every second of it.
Then we got Tipper13 proclaiming God of War for life.
Yeah, I love the God of War.
I agree. I love all the God of War games. I recently replayed all of them a while back. Then I played the updated 2018 God of War. I got 100% on that. I got all the achievements.
Mm-hmm.
Then as soon as Ragnarok came out, I played that one. Got all the achievements and 100% of that one.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, dude. That's one game series that I'm always just going to go back and replay at some point. And I'm excited for the future of it. They haven't announced a new game officially. But I'm pretty sure they're bringing something. Because they were supposed to kill off Kratos in this one, but they kept him alive.
Yeah, now I imagine at some point we're just going to get an Atreus like focused game.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what they're switching to at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. Eventually they're going to have to phase out Kratos because he is getting older. Even though he's a god. And there's some YouTube videos out there explaining why.
Blood by Design. Gotta go. I'd love to stick around talking controversial anime with y'all. I know plenty. Duty calls, though. Send me a PM later, guys. I have an idea for an episode topic that I'd love for y'all to cover. Hey,
yes.
We'll message you.
Definitely, dude. I will definitely be messaging you later. See ya. Thanks for joining. And if you can catch us next time, awesome. All right, man. Have a good night.
And again, anybody who wants to hear a topic from us, want to hear us talk about something, you let us know. We'll get to it. Like, we got plenty to discuss.
Oh, yeah,
in the anime world.
You can always email us as well if you need to. If you have an idea for anything, or if you need to get a hold of us for, a meetup, or not necessarily a meetup, but like an online meetup or something like that. Yeah, you can always email us at finalflashpodcast1@gmail.com. So, like I was saying, eventually they're going to have to phase Kratos out because he is getting older. He's still strong, but we can clearly see from God of War 3, and then we jump to God of War 2018. He's definitely gotten older, and he's visibly weaker. And even to Ragnarok, he is weaker.
He's not his 21, LOL. I still have no idea what you're saying, Tipper.
I don't know either.
But yeah, no, but like with Overlord, people were just so mad because he was such this horrible person and horrible villain. Like he did all these horrible things to these people and torture them and kill them. And then like I think they totally forgot what the whole show was about. And like even at that, he's got a system that forcibly puts him to act out as this villain character anyways.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what the argument was for that or why people were so mad. Like, it's like one of those moments, like, I don't realize you know what you signed up for when you started watching this show.
Like, he doesn't really do just a whole bunch of good guy things. Especially in season 1 either.
No, he didn't actively save those people. He knew they were going after him. He didn't actively save them. He didn't even actively revive them. He just let them die. So yeah, no, it's very confusing to me.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and Attack on Titan. I know you've heard about this controversy because this was a pretty big one and fairly recent. Not fairly recent. It was recent when it came out.
Yeah, it was like right in the first season. But the main controversy for this one was because people were claiming it. What was it? They were saying that Germany and
Japan were apparently secretly planning something to attack, someone, maybe the U.S., maybe not.
Yeah, no, like they claimed
this was a real thing.
Yeah, like they claimed like this was like the start of a revolution, and like this was antagonizing or. Yeah, I remember because they were even saying the Titans were an allegory for. I couldn't even tell you.
For whatever, and the walls as well for humanity being trapped or something, and like it got so out of hand. Like people thought there was going to be a real life World War III because of this anime.
Which is hilarious because this is like they've actively stated in this anime too, like. All races pretty much exist here.
Yeah, this is just a mixture of different races from around the world that's trapped in these walls. It's not just Japanese or German.
And even at that, there's only 2 active Japanese people in the entire show.
Yeah, one of them's Mikasa.
Yeah.
Eren, like we were talking about earlier, Eren is German or of German descent.
I would assume.
I can't remember Armin.
I would assume Swedish of some sort or something like that.
And even I was thinking that too just now. So he could even be of Swedish descent or somewhere around there. Where they have natural blonde hair.
Yeah,
the controversy was so insane.
I remember because Twitter and like YouTube were blowing up about it. Like they were actively like, no, this is for real, and I'm just like, it's an anime.
Yeah. We're not starting World War III, and it's definitely not going to be caused by this anime. But at the time, there were so many people who seriously thought Germans and the Japanese were getting together and they were going to bomb or, create World War III, and that this anime was just a precursor to that.
Yeah, no, that blows my mind.
Dude, that is crazy that this was ever even a thought. But let's move on to Oshinoko.
Which is funny for being one of the top anime this season, that it got caught in a small controversy. I think it was either episode 5 or 6.
It's one of those. Yeah.
One of those two, because I know it wasn't like 4. But yeah, no, like for anybody who like hasn't watched this anime, like one of the characters is on like this live dating show. And, like, she's not getting much screen time, And so she kind of does things that are kind of a little scummy. We could say it was a little scummy. But, like, after she does this, and they made her look even worse on air. which is a known issue even here in the U.S.
Yeah.
with live TV shows on making people look a lot worse than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And like the public backlash was just so strong on this character in the anime, like the public, that she decided that she was just gonna, yeah, we'll just do it like that because I don't want to. I don't think we could use the word.
I'm not 100%.
Unalive herself.
Yeah.
Let's go there. So that's how we're. So she decided to try to jump off a bridge. Our main character saves her, whatnot, but the internet was on fire with this episode. People were like, some were like, "Hey, that's too triggering," or "Hey, that promotes," or what do they call it? It glorifies unaliving yourself.
Yeah.
And there were some who were like, "Well, that's just ridiculous. That doesn't happen in real life."
Mm-hmm.
The internet's not that crazy to force someone to want to unalive themselves. And like everything that they were saying is things that were being said coincidentally in the episode. Like they were calling themselves out and they just didn't even know it at that point.
That's hilarious.
I was just like, this is insane. And I personally, I think it's a strong message, and I always like stories that are willing to go all out like that.
Yeah.
Because like even 13 Reasons Why even had this controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they explicitly shown what's her name unaliving herself by cutting her wrists, like strictly in the episode. And I know they've taken it off now, but people were so afraid that just glorified it. And I like the creative side on one part of my brain says, no, that's like a strong like even I cringe watching that type of stuff. Like that's insane to me. And then the other side of my brain is, no, I kind of understand, because it's on TV, it's very prominent, it's there for everybody to see, So like I get those two sides of my brain mixed, and so I get it and I don't get it, But yeah, no, this was one of those episodes that got hit with that same type of controversy.
Yeah. Now, what hits so hard for this particular controversy is that it's rooted in real life, because we have those staged reality TV shows.
We have
celebrities and minor celebrities like content creators. They get death threats to the point where they want to unalive themselves.
Like they get attacked. Like
yeah, there are tons of people, messaging them on different platforms saying unalive yourself, do this, do that, you're trash, just
like,
talking
and
down.
even at that, this is like a very dark show. Like episode 1, I thought that cemented that, but yeah, no, it's like they didn't realize how dark this can get.
Yeah,
and it gets very dark, and like these are major subjects that happen in real world today, and not exclusively in Japan, because like, at least for this reality a TV show type episode type thing, that's very much based here in the U.S. too, especially with all the love dating shows and stuff like relationship shows. Love is Blind is like in the biggest controversy on Netflix right now.
Yeah,
just because of like how they're portraying characters, or they're not feeding them, they're making them sleep deprived. Like, yeah, these are things that are happening, and tends to make people a little kind of cuckoo.
yeah.
So it's very hard to judge people based on these live TV shows, and I think that's what the episode was supposed to take away, and I think people didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think they missed the point.
Like, what you're seeing on screen may not be 100% true.
Yeah, it's called reality TV, but we know it's scripted to a certain degree.
Exactly. And I think people need to like take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Some people can be scummy and still be scummy off the air, but like, don't forget, TV is a story-based environment. If a person is scummy, they're gonna up that to a 10 on reality TV. They're gonna make them look like the worst person, and I think we all need to remember that when we're watching stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely you got to understand that just because it's called reality TV, there's not that doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% reality. You know, there's someone calling the shots behind these scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Goblin Slayer. Now, Goblin Slayer, you know where I'm going with this.
I'd like. I love Goblin Slayer. I
love it too.
I love those first chapters, and I think, and even that first episode, it cemented what this show was.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the other people who actively hate this first episode.
Yeah.
And don't like the scenes that are shown in there. Again, but what I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, so episode one hits extremely hard. It lets you know what this entire series is going to be from a standpoint. Now, the rest of the anime, not so much the manga, but the rest of the anime doesn't like reach that dark depth again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we might see it some more in season 2. I know in the book later on, you know, there's some dark scenes as well, some darker scenes. But episode 1 will have you saying WTF.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's crazy. There is
anybody who's like actively triggered by SA, just don't watch that first. I would recommend not even watching this or anything.
Yeah, there is SA.
Yeah. So I keep that in mind when watching or seeing this.
Yep.
And I think the problem with this anime in the first episode, based off the poster and just based off like the tags, it didn't cement itself as like when you're gonna watch this first episode that this is a dark and gritty type fantasy.
Like you were not expecting that.
Yeah, no, and a lot of people I don't think were, because the poster is very vibrant in color. Like even looking at this first cover of the issue, like it's dark and gritty, you can tell. But if you look at the anime poster, it is not as dark and gritty. It is very colorful and bright.
Yeah, it's very misleading. They did nothing to try and show you that this was going to be like full-on gore or anything like that. Because there is gore, there's lots of bloodshed. And I can get the people who were upset by it. You know, maybe they weren't interested in seeing like SA in animated form. And it kind of just got like thrown in their face like out of nowhere.
Yeah, no. And again, we're long-time anime viewers, and like
I'm pretty much used to anything, whether it's, you know, SA or gore or anything. It doesn't mean I think it's right, by the way.
Yeah, no,
don't think it's right at all. But I'm used to you know, expecting that kind of stuff when it comes to anime.
Yeah, no. I like dark and gritty stuff, but again, this is I will let people know like what type of things you're about to see in certain episodes, and like SA and dark fantasy and gore type, like any of that stuff, do not watch this or do not read it. The manga is even more explicit than the anime.
Yeah, so if it's not your thing, you know, stay away from it. I also, when I recommend animes to friends or people who just ask me what, you know, I think they should watch based on what they've previously watched or what they like, you know, I tell them, you know, you can watch this, but be careful because there's SA, or, you know, there's unaliving here.
Yeah, again, but we've been in the anime business for a while. We've been through the dark and grimy stuff. Hell, we've been through the dark age of the internet. We've seen things. So, like, I don't think we're as phased by things like that anymore.
Yeah, I think
and again, we're not saying we agree with those things or approve of those things. We're just not as phased when it hits. And I totally understand people who are like, you know, it's not cool. I totally get that.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, I think most millennials as a whole, are just kind of unfazed by this stuff. Like in animation. In real life, it's a different story, but in animation, it's just that kind of, you know, we grew up in a period where the internet was still producing videos like Pain Olympics or Two Girls, One Cup.
Yeah, like internet was just an unregulated time at that point in time.
Yeah.
I think it's, the internet's changing for the better, honestly, but it's always to keep a watch out, because there is stark and gritty stuff, and when they do stuff in the right way, I think it does add to a story and can be done properly.
Right.
But sometimes in the anime world, they do make it very explicit, which is kind of the problem.
All right, so your next choice was Cyberpunk. This has been in my list. I have not watched it yet. So tell us about it.
So I put this one on the list just because it's an interesting topic that I always see tons of anime people talk about, and it's so interesting. And it's the lolly characters in anime. And this one just happened to get hit with it hard. For those who haven't watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, I do highly recommend it. It is a very good show. It is a slight gore fest. Not as very explicit, but it is gore. So just be prepared for that. Dark and gritty too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we have a character in here whose name is Rebecca, and I showed you an image of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen her, in various places on the internet.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, when the anime came out and, like, when it was finished, people were in love with Rebecca. She's a very interesting character. She's very out there. She's crazy and does all these crazy things, and she's just a fun, high-energy character. Well, like, when they were doing interviews with, like, the directors and stuff like that, like, one of the directors was like, people were concerned about, at least for, like, the animators and stuff, were concerned about, like, Rebecca, because she's this tiny type character whose skin is blue, which is really weird. And then the director was like, no, the lolly character stays. This is supposed to be cyberpunk. If anything you want to be, you can be it.
Mm-hmm.
And so once that line hit the world within the internet, people were very angry because she's considered a lolly character.
Right.
I get how some people feel about lolly character, which is why I asked him first. I was like, "Do you want to talk about this? Because this one is a touchy, heated subject in the law of anime." And I get it, because there is very much problematic lolly characters in the anime world.
There is. Now, again, I'm sort of unfazed when it comes to, like, animation and these type of tropes in animation.
Again, we've been in the anime business for so long.
Yeah,
like we grew up like, yeah, that's just a lolly character. Move on.
Yeah, I don't really read much into it. I mean, most of the time it's not extremely problematic. There's just a lolly character there for the sake of being a character. Sometimes it goes a bit far. Usually, like, in the more, like, ecchi type animes.
Yes.
Which, I mean, if you don't like lolly characters, chances are you're probably not very interested in ecchi anime anyways.
Yeah. No. And it's sad to say, like, lolly just gets such a bad name, because again, you got great characters like Rebecca. Although she does get the lolly tag, I don't think she's very much considered the bad types of, like, the H anime or the ecchi anime that we see in this world. Another great character that I always like is Tatsumaki from One Punch Man. She is like that lolly character.
I think she is considered lolly.
She 100, yeah. But, like, that tag is there, and so it's kind of there, and I get why people don't like it, because we have ecchi type anime and H anime, and it's very creepy and weird sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't approve of those types at all in any shape or form.
Right. But I mean, like you said, there are good lollies. Like, I forget her name, but from ReZero. She guards the library.
Oh, Beatrice.
Thank you. Yes.
I love Beatrice.
Beatrice. Perfect example of a lolly. Like, she's not defenseless. She's strong. She's extremely strong.
She's
well defended.
Yeah, she's strong. She's not sexualized.
Yeah. She wears, like, a full dress and everything, frilly girl dress and everything, but she's hundreds of years old. I think it's actually
referred to as the Lolita Gothic or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, she's one of those type of characters. But she's such a fun character, and I love that. And I think that's what I hate when we say lolly in the anime world. Like, we get characters like that, and we just exclude all the good things about a character that exist within that, just because of what the tag and how they're referred to as. And again, we've been in the anime world. I don't think, unfortunately, that tag will ever disappear.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, but it's just, it's a thing, and I totally get why some people don't like it. And it's definitely because of those H animes and ecchi animes that exist.
Alright. Next up is Naruto. Now, this was going on, and it's while it was still releasing. Well, Naruto, the original Naruto, was still releasing, and I had not seen it, but up to that point. See, I didn't watch Naruto until, like, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I was a late starter because I was stubborn. But this one did have a pretty big controversy surrounding it. They were basically saying this anime is
Advocate.
Advocating for child soldiers.
Somebody clip that.
Yeah, they were advocating for child soldiers and basically saying this anime is saying it's okay for young children to go out and join an army and kill people, murder people. Which, I mean, in the anime, it's decently harmless. Like there is some blood, but it's not a full on gore.
Well, here's
fest.
the thing, it's anime. We have high schoolers who are battling demons and crap. So I get it. I don't think that this anime. Ooh, I almost messed that up.
Clip that one.
Clip that one. I don't think this anime was promoting that type of thing. I think it was just following the regular formula that all anime were kind of diving into at that forum. The regular kid or high school, because shonen appeals to an audience.
Yeah.
Who is that audience? Kids and teenagers. What do we want to put as our protagonist? Well, kid or teenager. That's what our viewers are going to want to see when we watch this. And I think, again, people just miss that point.
Oh, for sure, dude. I definitely assume they do. But I really don't understand it. Like, I get it to a certain degree, but it's very vague. Like someone reached deep in their pockets to pull that argument out.
I've seen people reach even higher for certain things. That one doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's just, I think people forget, like, when we come up with shows or TV shows, movies, anime, whatever you want, what we ask first when we're making this, and I've been in the industry a little bit, so I can tell you, the first thing we ask when we're making this, who is the target audience that we're aiming for?
Yep.
What type of style, like anime, what type of style are we going to use that will appeal to this audience? What type of character archetype would appeal to this audience? So we have to ask these and then put this together and then make what we're going to produce out there.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure this was the thought process when he did. I'm sure Naruto, he already had the idea of what he wanted to do, where he was going to go with it. But again, you still have to ask those questions so that you can make your product and continue to make your product as you go on.
Right. Yeah, I don't get it. But that was it for our list, or the list we chose anyways, of the controversies surrounding animes. Is there any others you could think of? I mean, there's quite a bit, especially if we're diving into Pokemon like earlier. We talked about like 4 or 5 just right off the bat.
Yeah, no,
there's tons.
There's tons out there in the anime world. And there are probably even more touchy subjects that I probably wouldn't talk here.
Yeah,
but
there's definitely some I don't want to bring on the show specifically until we, hit that mature button. So we're only getting a certain audience.
Yeah, no, there are definitely more topics out there that we could probably hit. But there are just some other like there's innocent ones like Gurren Lagann episode 4, the most controversial episode with the awkward animation and the different director at that time doing that episode. People were up in arms about that episode.
It's funny because I'm about to rewatch that one because I've just started rewatching Gurren Lagann and I'm already on episode 2. So I literally just started it. So I'm about to hit that episode.
And then like you have shows like is it? Yeah, I think it is. Is it? Yeah, Kill la Kill. That whole show is a controversy, and we all know why that show's a controversy.
Yeah. Like, that show was made for someone specific. It's a specific audience, and it's mostly a male audience. And hey, we know you like this type of stuff. We made this anime for you.
And I mean, it's Trigger, so you know it's gonna go all out there with it. So it's amazing to see. And what's funny is a lot of the controversies that hit anime hit a lot harder here for certain subjects than it does in Japan.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Like, I can't tell you how many controversies My Hero's been in for certain things. And then like there are controversies that to this day I just don't understand. It's the characters like Sanji and Mineta. The woman crazy type characters. Yeah. And people just don't like them. They hate them. And I don't see why they hate them. And I don't know if that's because I saw really good characters like Sanji and what's his name from Heaven's Lost Property.
I forget his name.
I forget his name too.
You put me on the spot, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Those are, they're perverted characters, but they have morals and things that they don't want to even push the boundaries to.
Yeah, it's like Sanji. He would never strike a woman.
Yeah.
Any woman, doesn't matter. Like, she could be stabbing him, like it's been shown in the show before, beating the crap out of him. He will not hit a woman at all. He will not break that code.
Mm-hmm. And it's and then you got, like, you know, even like characters like Mineta, who are a little bit more scummy in the world, but like everybody was a kid and a teenager at some point, and I just don't get that.
I mean, the majority of teenage boys, the greater majority of teenage boys, are all perverted anyways. Like, just go ahead.
Yeah, just not out in the open,
right?
As like we keep seeing these characters, but they are.
I mean, you get those few kids, like we've even had some in our grade when we were in high school, and they were just like full on confident, so they were like pervy all the time.
You know, like what was funny one time, and I know you were there for this. Like, some people ask me though, they're like, "Do you know what it's like being hit on as a woman?" And my response always is to that day. Remember that day where my hair got cut, and some guy just threw his fucking arm around me like it was nothing. Like, he, like, I'm going to do it to Danny as a representation. But literally, they all watched this happen. He just came up and was like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" And then I turned to him, and he's like, "Oh, that's a guy."
Wasn't expecting that.
But I remember because all of you were dying of laughter. Some people just got that confidence in them, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I totally get what it's like to be a woman. I've been hit on, and guys just have, like, I don't even know what it is that some people gain that type of confidence to just put your hands on someone that you don't even know. But man, they do it, and it just boggles my mind.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be doing it much in today's society. Like,
I don't think they should. That was
no, definitely not.
That was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like I don't know you, bro.
For real. He thought you were a full-on woman, too.
He thought I was a full-on woman.
Yeah.
And I've always had the long hair.
He's got long, luscious hair that just
flows.
Then
this is even tied up. If I were to untie, it's even thicker and whatnot.
Yeah, and you didn't always have the sides shaved either, so it was just, like, full.
It was full.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was some beautiful hair. But, like, if you're looking at me from behind, especially back then, I was a lot skinnier. So, like, you couldn't tell. I'll admit to that. You couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But some people are just so bold. I think I've even had my butt slapped once. I am amazed by some people. And I'm glad that we have things like that. This is not okay. Because, yeah, nobody needs that. Nobody needs some random person touching them like that.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's creepy. Like, who do you think you are that you could just touch another random person?
Yeah. I mean, like, even as guys, like, even if we don't know each other, I would never touch another random guy. Just like, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?" I wouldn't do that. I'd probably, like, wave or something like that in their face to be like, just to get their attention. But I wouldn't just straight up just touch them.
Right.
It's just, there's a line, and we just need to not cross that.
Yeah, it's basic courtesy is what it is. And some people don't have it.
Yeah.
Even these days, some people do not have it. Like, they will just put their arms around a girl or another guy, or they'll just start spouting off all these pickup lines, like full confidence. And confidence is good. It's okay, but not to the point where you're making another human being uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think the most hated type of person that we don't like is someone who's so friendly that they just touch us and they haven't even introduced themselves yet. I think that's the people we don't really like.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind it if I know you. If I know you, it's all good. But if I don't know you, don't just come up to me and start, touching me all over and, being buddy. I have no clue who you are.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're about or what you're trying to do to me.
Yeah.
Don't touch me. Like, get to know me first. Let's get on, like, a friendly level before you start trying to grope me and touch me and all this.
Yeah, no, I'm glad for the change that we're having in today, because, yeah, I didn't like it back then, even though, like, people thought I was a woman. I didn't like it back then, and I'm glad that that's changing now, because nobody needs to be touched like that in a friendly way. Just to hit on someone at that. If that's what you like, by all means, that do you.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's appropriate in any way, especially when you don't know a person yet.
You should never assume a person's okay with you touching them.
Never.
Like, always assume they're not okay with it. You know, meet a person without having to touch them.
Say hi first.
For real.
Look them in the face. Make sure they're actually a woman.
Or you'll get that.
Or you'll get this. Which is funny too. And then, like, even today in society's changing, it's not even much of like whether you care if it's a man or a woman, or if you're looking just for that person, you know? Because things are changing even to this day. You know, people are non-binary or, you know, gender fluid at that point. So it's amazing to see in this type of day.
Yep. Catchem9 says, take me to dinner first.
Exactly.
At least.
At least.
If you're going to put your arm around me, give me a cheeseburger at minimum.
Like, give me some, at the time, dollar menu fries. Come on.
There ain't no dollar menu fries no more.
Not
buddy.
anymore.
That shows our age. A Happy Meal.
But, like, and I get why, and, like, with characters like Mineta and them, though, it's just a fantasy. And
Right.
And I just want people like, hey, this is just a fantasy. And I don't think anybody out there in the real world actually expects that to be reality.
Yeah, they're great characters. They're decent characters.
They're the gag characters.
Yeah. They just so happen to be, you know, perverted or attracted to women more than your average character.
Because, I mean, how many actual guys do you know out there that are like Sanji? Is just like, Nami Swan?
Or even Zenitsu, for that matter. Now
Exactly.
That we're thinking about it. But none. I don't see anyone like that. You get the random guy at the conventions who like, goes into character and goes that extra mile, but that's about it.
And even at that, half like the videos we see are permission first. By the way, with the con coming up, if you see a cosplayer out there, 1, don't just randomly touch them. 2, ask for permission when you get a photo. 3, don't be taking no pervy shots.
Yeah. Remember, guys, cosplay does not equal consent. Just because they are dressed like a character and that character may have, you know, a very low-cut cosplay.
Or just very explicit, like Kill la Kill.
That does not mean you have permission to just go and be as perverted as possible or anything. Just keep that in mind for not just Anime Expo, but every con. Because people love to cosplay. I would cosplay if I had the skill to. Like, I might just buy the costumes just to do it. But, yeah, cosplay does not equal consent, guys. Always make sure you ask if you're going to take a picture. Every cosplay I've ever seen at a convention, every cosplayer, I've never heard them turn anyone down.
If they're eating or something or sitting on the floor, don't ask them to take a photo. I don't know why that's a thing that we see, but let them eat. Let them gain the nutrients to stand for another few more hours.
Like, they've been standing, and like in the bigger, more
heavier like type suits or restricted type movement suits.
Yeah, they stay like in the bottom, like the hall area when you're first going into the convention, because they can't go to, you know, the main hall where you're buying everything and stuff. They're strictly down there, so they're standing all day, and most of them do it, you know, just to take pictures with fans and, you know, this and that, which is fine. But if they happen to be eating or they're on a phone call, you know, just wait the, you know, 10-15 minutes it takes for them to get back on their feet.
Yeah, always just be respectful, especially at any con. And this is for the heavier guys like me. Put on some deodorant,
please.
I am big. I understand. We big. We sweat. We smell. I put on tons of deodorant before I go.
No, and that's perfectly fine. But there are some people, not even just big people, but there are lots of people who just do not put on deodorant.
Exactly. Like, I swear. And like, one of these days, like I tell people at the card shop, I'm gonna bring some Febreze, and if I spray you, you're gonna know why.
Yeah, there was something I wanted to do the last time we went to Anime Expo, and it was gonna have like a trench coat, but I was gonna have like a ton of the travel size deodorants. I was just gonna hand them out to people, without trying to be offensive, but at the same time, like, you're going to be in a crowded.
You know what
area.
you should do? You should do like Resident Evil 4. What are you buying? Just have a bunch of different like little mini brands.
All right, so at cons, guys, just remember to practice good hygiene, whether it's oral or, just body hygiene. Hygiene in general. Try and practice it, especially if you know you're going to be stuck in that convention for hours on end.
I'm telling you, you don't think you smell.
Yeah.
Like,
I know people get nose blind. You can't smell yourselves because you're so used to it, but other people can.
me and him, every morning before we go to the con, it was always, we're going to shower and put on some deodorant before we
Shower, deodorant, brush your teeth. I put foot powder because I'm going to be walking all day. I don't want my feet to be all sweaty and gross. So, the whole 9 yards.
Also, big guys, if you're like me and you wear pants when you go to the convention, and maybe not wearing shorts, baby powder goes a long way to keep out that rubbing of the thighs. It goes a long way.
Saying you got them anime thick thighs.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, like, when you're just walking and just like your thighs are just hitting like that, it fucking starts to hurt after a bit.
Yeah,
baby powder goes a long way.
Yeah, there have been some times in life where I was running track or whatever, and you chafe really bad, and it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts for the next couple days.
That's what I say. Baby powder goes a long way. You may look weird when you first buy it, and you may think it's weird. It's not weird, I promise you. A lot of big guys do it when they go to the cons. They'll throw it down there. It'll make you 10 times more comfortable.
Catch a Nine says starting fires.
I'm telling you.
Oh, for real.
Like, it's not even a joke.
I haven't chafed in a very long time, and I hope I don't anytime soon, because it is just one of the worst feelings.
Like, every con we've been to, like, I'm in the bathroom, and after after I've dried off and everything, I put on my pants and I just throw some baby powder down there, because chafing sucks, especially at the cons, especially when I want to wear pants, because it's one of the dance parties or after parties or something like that. I don't want to just be sitting there like, damn, my fucking thighs burn.
Yeah. You got any closing remarks? I don't think I have any.
Always be respectful. Anime is controversial. There's going to be things that are out there that are going to hit people a lot harder than others. And I totally understand, and I'm always on the side of, hey, you don't like it, I respect it, and I'm willing to accept what it is. Everybody has different viewpoints. Me and him, again, we've lived through the dark ages of anime and the internet, totally unrestricted. So we're a little less phased by certain things. And I want you guys to realize, we may not be therapists, but we will give you the honest opinion on what you're going to see in an anime as best as we can. And we're always willing to talk it out, what you guys think is controversial and what's controversial.
Right.
And as we said, we get it. Pervert characters may not be the best characters, but I don't think they're as bad as people make them out to me. And always be respectful at the cons. Please wear deodorant. Ask for permission when you're doing photos, and just generally don't be a creep.
Yeah.
It's very easy to don't be staring for if you're staring more than 2 seconds, you're staring.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. As a male. As a male with a very high libido, you see those cosplays, some of them, walking through the halls or something. I mean, they want you to look and appreciate the cosplay, but don't be a pervert, don't be a creep. There is a limit. Yeah. Just like when you're hugging someone, there's a limit. You don't want to hug them for 3 minutes straight. Yeah. It's 2 seconds and then let go.
Look, I know it's real easy to do this, but please look back up.
Yeah. They are human beings. They are not just... what's the word I'm looking for here?
They're not just sexual objects for your design.
Exactly.
And I still don't get how some people just don't realize that or see that. But yes, please be respectful. And I get it. Some boobs are out, and they're going to be out because certain cosplays. But you could still be respectful. You can look respectfully, and you know it.
Yep.
Be respectful.
Don't be a creep when you're talking to them. Just because they're dressed like that doesn't mean they're into you or into anyone else there. They don't need a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
And anybody who struggles just talking to people, it's always easy just to start with, hi, and then maybe your name or introduce yourself, and then move from there.
Yeah, compliment their cosplay or something. It doesn't have to be just an awkward, disgusting experience.
Yeah, it's always very simple. It's, hey, I love your cosplay. Can I get a photo with you? Or can I take a photo of you? There are always plenty of respectful ways to do it. And there is a way to go about it, and we should always respect everybody in cosplay, and
male or female,
yeah.
anyone in between.
Yeah, just be that kind person, and be that good smelling person.
Yeah.
If you smell like you came from a Yu-Gi-Oh card tournament, there's a problem.
And he would know.
I would know.
He's not dissing the card community. He's a part of it.
I am Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon player here, and there have been a couple guys in the card shop that I have explicitly told. I've told them that they stunk. I'm that guy. I will just tell you. I'm a big guy. I get to do that.
I'll give you that. But with that, I think that's where we're going to end the stream, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Blood by Design, thank you for jumping in the chat today. Blood by Design, again, is the band. Band, by the way, is just one person. He does the drums, the guitar, he mixes, he sings, vocals, everything. That's him.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, just one guy.
That's talented as hell.
That is talent.
Yeah, I could barely do, like, maybe one of those things.
But yes, Blood by Design. He provides our intro and outros for this. They are on YouTube if you want to look him up. I think he has both of his full-length albums on there. And I enjoy it. If you enjoy that type of heavier music, I think you'll enjoy it as well. But with that, I guess we will see you guys next time.
Later.
I curse your name. But Thaddeus, so slow I have been slain.